We'll talk about what is cryptocurrency, and also talk about we'll also do some live section. So I will advise you guys to pay attention. If you have any question, you can use the group chat. I will see it. So let's get down to the business. So what is the blockchain? Now, basically, a blockchain is a distributed digital immutable ledger that is used to record transactions and store data in a secure and transparent manner. It is based on decentralized network of nodes that is collectively maintain a single source of truth, allowing participants to interact with the system without the need for intermediaries. Now, the blockchain, if I was to start to explain in a layman term, the blockchain makes up of two words, which is block and chain. So in this case hereby, we'll talk about the block and we'll talk about chain. So when two, three, four blocks are being linked together, it form what? A blockchain. But now you have to ask yourself, what is a block? A block is a container data structure that aggregates transaction for inclusion in the public ledger of the blockchain. Now, each block in the chain contains a set of transactions that have been verified and recorded by the network of known through a process known as consensus. Once a block is added to the chain, it cannot be altered or deleted, creating an immutable record of transaction on the network. Now, this will bring me back to what I said right now about immutable. There are basically there are three major characteristics of a blockchain. Number one, it is distributed. Number two is digital. Then number three is immutable. Now, when we say something is immutable, we mean that something that can never be changed. This is to say that whatever transaction that happens in the blockchain, whatever thing that happens in the blockchain can never be changed, can never be altered, because it is permanently stored in a block. Now, every block contains transaction information that has been what? Verified by a network of nodes. Now, we must the word mining. Mining is simply the process of confirming transaction in the network. So the blockchain is distributed, meaning it is decentralized. It is not owned by a particular party, but it is distributed amongst everybody, and it is digital, meaning there is no physical location of the blockchain server, so thereby making it very hard to hack, and it is immutable. Now, over time, this design of Bitcoin inspired the blockchain. So, but this design of Bitcoin have inspired other more capable blockchain network to come out, especially the Ethereum. So, we'll be learning more about this Ethereum in the coming session and how to use Ethereum. So, now this is the layman destination of a blockchain. As you can see here, you have the block one, you have the block two, this is the block one, block two, and block three. So as number of blocks increase, whenever there's a new transaction, it is being added to the previous transaction, thereby making it a chain of block, making it what? A blockchain. Now, we'll talk about the state management of the blockchain. Now, chain beginning, and it also has what? An ending. I hope I'm clear enough. Can anybody hear me? Please indicate in the comment section, please. Can everybody hear me, please?
Yes, you can hear him, Mr. Sam.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Okay. So now we'll talk about the state of the state management of the blockchain. Now there is the first ever transaction that will happen in any blockchain is called the Genesis block. The very first I want every student here to take notes because there will be an assignment after this class. So after that, you have to check your Google Classroom for the assignments to submit against our next class. So let me continue. The first transaction that occurs in a blockchain is called what? The Genesis block. That's why Satoshi Nakamoto has been unknown till tomorrow, and anybody comes to claim he or she is Satoshi Nakamoto, he'll be asked to present the Genesis blockchain transaction proof, the Genesis transaction proof of the Bitcoin blockchain. So blockchain starts off with the Genesis state when they launch. Now, Bitcoin Genesis state happened in 2009 when the public network was launched, while Ethereum's Genesis state happened in 2015 when it is launched. Every transaction on a blockchain modifies the global states that replicate across all nodes. Every transaction on a blockchain modifies the global state that it replicates across all nodes. So every transaction that happens has been verified across all nodes in the blockchain. So every node involved in the blockchain must be aware. In fact, they have taken record of whatever transaction has happened in that blockchain. Now we'll talk about blockchain nodes, because I know somebody must have been asking. I'm talking about nodes verification. Now, a blockchain network is managed autonomously through a peer-to-peer distributed network of computers. Now, without going into more detail, now let's think of each node in the network as keeping a record of the global transaction ledger, meaning every participant in the blockchain has a record, in fact, has the record of the transaction going on the blockchain. No one party controls it. It is public. In fact, a public blockchain is public to everybody. So everybody will see what is happening in that blockchain. Now, each node can individually verify and audit transaction happening on the network and ensure there was no illicit behavior. Another type of node is called what? A mining node. Now, a mining node is responsible for grouping together new transactions being made on a network into a block, verifying them, and proposing the block to be included onto the global ledger by everyone else. Right now, mining is hard and very important to do securely. So miners whose block get accepted are given a token for their reward. This is to say that we must also be heard about the word the Bitcoin halving. So the Bitcoin halving is simply a process whereby the reward that is given to the miners is being halved. Is a time whereby every reward that the miner receive will be halved. Now, what does this mining nodes does? Now, these mining nodes, what they do is they are basically they play a very vital role in the blockchain because they they participate in the blockchain to help verify records and also proposing the block to be included in the global ledger. Now, I say something about who we be doing that we be doing a live and this thing, something in this file is called on-chain analysis. So we will audit transaction, we will view transaction that is happening in the blockchain, and we will be doing that with the Ethereum blockchain. We'll be doing that with the Ethereum blockchain. So mining is simply the process whereby a node verify a transaction that goes on the blockchain and also receive reward for it. Now, the thing about mining is that mining is hard there, but there are some people who tend to offer some fake gibberish about mining, because in order to participate in the mining of a blockchain, you must have a high computing power. This is simply you can offer your computer's CPU or your graphic card, and you must allow them running. That is, you must allow them running. We have Chinese have the Bitcoin mining farms. Argentina also have. The US also have. These are like basically rooms, like a room, a big warehouse whereby thousands of computers are being stored. And what is the work of this computer? Their work is simply to what? To verify, to mine, to be verifying this transaction that is going on, to be mining the transaction that is going on. So whenever they does that, whenever they verify such, excuse me. So whenever they successfully verify any transaction, they will be paid for their reward. Like they'll be rewarded for doing so. So and they'll be reward with that blockchain's native coin. For instance, now in for Bitcoin now, they'll be rewarded in Bitcoin. For the Ethereum, they will be rewarded Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So basically, mining is a process whereby the nodes confirm and verify transactions and also stores transactions in a blockchain, and they will be rewarded for it, whereby a node is what? It's a ledger that stores a record of the global transaction. Is that clear? Now, moving on to the next thing. Now, the structure of the blockchain nodes. Now, I say something about that these blockchains are being distributed, meaning they are not owned by one party, they are being distributed. So as you can see here now, this is a node, this is another node, this is another node. So the transaction you will see, any transaction you see on this node, you also see it in this node. You also see it on this node. So if this node proposes anything or does anything on the blockchain, this also we verify it nodes. This other nodes we also verify it. I think today I sent USDT BIP20 to somebody, and on Binance it took about it took 15 confirmation, meaning a minimum of 15 nodes has to what confirm this transaction before what it will be processed. So at that time it took about 5 minutes or thereabout for it to be confirmed, and then the person's received. receive the USDT. So the same thing now. Now I can also go back now to my Binance now and bring out that my transaction record and go to the, since it happened on BIP20, I will go to the Binance Smart Chain Explorer. I will paste in that transaction details, and you will see the amount of USDC I sent to the person. You will also see the wallet address that received it. You will also see the time and the date. So nobody can lie to you. I sent you 5 Bitcoin on 1st of December, blah 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 blah. I sent you this, I sent you that. Or so nobody can try to fraud you. It's a very transparent something. The blockchain is very transparent. That's one of the feature of the blockchain. It's very transparent. So nobody can fraud you saying things, because you can just go to the explorer and confirm if that transaction happened. So anything, a node connected to the blockchain helps towards maintain the execution of a transaction in return for an incentive. Now, I was explaining something just now for everybody. Now I was talking about how transaction happen in the blockchain. How transaction happen in the blockchain. So let's go again now. So now this is me today. I sent money to Mr. B. Let's say I sent a Bitcoin. Now, this Bitcoin now, when it went to the blockchain, it was broadcasted to what? To every party. So when these parties they have what? They confirmed it. They added the blockchain. They added the Bitcoin. What? They now executed it, like they now debited me. They moved my own Bitcoin from my wallet and what give to Mr. B. So that's how this blockchain simply works. They will like, I sent money to B, like I sent the order to the blockchain. Give B 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin. So it is now what? Broadcasted to what? To every party in the blockchain. Now, for my case, now it took about 15 minimum papers and transaction, meaning 15 nodes. We must like confirm if I sent such. And at the same time, they will also go through my wallet to cross-check if I have the value of what I'm trying to send. Now, there's what we also call double spending in the blockchain. We call it what? Double spending. Now, this is simply a process whereby someone tries to what? To perform a transaction twice. It can be it can be what? Fraudulent. Double spending is simply a process where someone tries what? To perform a transaction twice. It These doubles before the Bitcoin, the blockchain existed before that time, but the double spending was a serious issue. So that was where Satoshi Nakamoto was capitalized on. So I sent the order to Mr. B. The party have to confirm if I have the value of that Bitcoin in my wallet, and once they have approved of it, they will now add it to the blockchain. Then they now move the money from me and give to Mr. B. That's how a transaction simply works using a blockchain decentralized structure. Are you getting me? So Now, the next thing now we'll talk about is, I've simply explained to it. A transaction was requested, the block that represented the transaction was created. Now the block is sent to every node in the network. Every node we validate it, and those nodes will also receive a reward for doing that, which is what we call the proof of work. Then a node is added to the existing transaction, then the transaction is completed. Now, when we talk about the types of blockchain, the types of blockchain. Now, there are 4 types of blockchain. We have a public blockchain, we have the private blockchain, we have the hybrid blockchain, and we also have the consortium blockchain. Now, each of these blockchain has their unique characteristics onto why they are they are different and why they are unique. So there is something that differentiates. There are something that differentiates each blockchain. So this is to say that originally, not all blockchain are decentralized. You can just group the types of blockchain into permissionless and a permission blockchain. For that of a public, it has no central authority. That of a hybrid is controlled by permissionless process. It is controlled, but it's also being permissionless. And that of a private is controlled by one party, and that of a consortium is controlled by a group. Now, the public blockchain, these blocks are completely open to following the idea of decentralization. The public blockchain is what we are currently using. They don't have any restriction, meaning anyone having a computer and internet can participate in the network. Anybody that has a computer and internet can participate in the network. Now, as the name is public, this blockchain is open to the public, which means it is not owned by anyone. Anyone having internet and a computer with good hardware can participate in the public blockchain. Anyone having a computer with good hardware. So meaning the higher your computing power, the higher your chances of being rewarded. Now, all computers in the network hold copies of other nodes or block present in the network. And in this blockchain, we can also perform verification of transaction or records. Now we go through the disadvantage and advantages. Number 1, it is trustable. There are algorithms to detect no fraud. Participants need not to worry about other nodes in the blockchain. Number 2, it is secure. So the larger the size of the blockchain, the greater distribution of network. So leaving no room for fraud or any other illegal activities. And the blockchain is also anonymous nature. So meaning that it's a secure platform that makes your transaction properly. At the same time, you are not required, I repeat, you are not required to reveal your name and the identity in order to participate. And the last thing that makes it stand out means it is decentralized, meaning there is no single platform that maintains the network. Everybody, I repeat, everybody that uses the blockchain has a copy of the ledger. Are we clear? So now everything in life that has an advantage also has an disadvantage. So let's talk about the disadvantage. Number one, processing. The rate of transaction process is very slow due to the large size. Like I explained earlier, I sent USDT BIP20 to somebody. It took about 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the transaction to happen because I was not the only one using that blockchain at the moment. There were other people, thousands of people. Excuse me. There were thousands of people using that blockchain at that moment. So making the rate of this transaction process to be very, very slow. Number two, it consumes a lot of energy. Sometime around 2020, 2021, one of the reasons why China banned Bitcoin was, I think they said that the energy consumption of Bitcoin was too much. Like it was consuming much of energy, and in the US, the Bitcoin miners were what beginning to be taxed. You will be taxed for what if you are operating a mining farm, or you're what a miner. So the proof of work is a high energy consuming, and it requires good computer hardware to participate. Lastly, acceptance. Since no central authority is there are usually an issue of facing what implementing the technology faster. Everybody is a what is a participant, but controlling. So that makes it very, very hard for implementation of the technology. Now, on to the next one now. Let's talk about the private blockchain. The private blockchain is not decentralized as the public blockchain because only selected nodes can participate in the process, making it more secure than others. This now there are four major features about a private blockchain. Number one, they are not what as open as a public blockchain. Number two, they are only open to some authorized users only, meaning um instead of having every participant to have control of the blockchain, only few persons participate. And the third one is they are being operated in a closed network. These blockchain are operated in a closed network and it's not open to the public. So if you are not an authorized or a key player in the private blockchain, you cannot have access to the records of that blockchain. And the few persons that are what allowed to participate in the network are within a company or organization. Just like a one family something controlling controlling the blockchain. Now the advantages, I will quickly go through the advantages. Number one, it is fast. Unlike the private public blockchain, the private blockchain is very fast because the rate of transaction is very high, and this is basically because of the size of the transaction. Let me be writing down my questions. Number two, it is scalable, meaning it can be what we decided manually. And there is privacy in the blockchain. There is privacy in the blockchain because it has increased what there's a level of what confidentiality as the business was require, and it is more balanced than what public blockchain, and which help improve the performance of the network. The disadvantages include security, Now you ask, why security? Since there are only few participants in such blockchain, there are what a high chances of what manipulation, and this what make this blockchain to be vulnerable. Number two, they are centralized. I mean, we are moving from, we want to go to a place whereby we want to what everyone wants to see what is going on, and you're not telling me that you want to control what is going on the blockchain. It doesn't make it what trustworthy. So since it's centralized, it is not totally trustworthy, despite the fact that it's secure and it is private, but it's not trustworthy because there can be some background manipulation going through. And there's what we call counts. They thought a disadvantage, because since there are a few nodes in that blockchain, if the nodes go offline, the entire system of the blockchain can be endangered. Let's say, for instance, now I have a blockchain, coin blockchain, and the nodes in my blockchain like consist of everybody in Ethereum Nigeria, and everybody in Ethereum Nigeria now, our nodes now, let's say we're using our system now to run a node. My system went off. I'm in Port Harcourt now. My system went off. Mr. Tete's system went off. Mr. Enoch system went off. Some other people now in Nigeria now, all of us, our system went off. The blockchain will just go offline. So now, at this moment now, they can what? They can attack our what? Our blockchain. So now the next thing we want to talk about is the hybrid blockchain. Students, please don't forget, after the class, check the Google Classroom for the questions. The question will be dropped here. Now, the hybrid blockchain is a mixed content of the private and public blockchain, meaning it is permissionless permission. Where some part is controlled by some organization, and other makes are made visible as a public transaction. So this is like you improving a private blockchain. So the blockchain is private, meaning there are only few persons controls this blockchain. But at the same time, since only one few persons control this blockchain, it is visible to everybody. So it's like a combination of both the public and the private blockchain. This permission-based and permissionless system are what's being used, and users can only access information via smart contracts. Now, every primary entity holds a blockchain, and it cannot what alter the transaction, unlike the private blockchain whereby transactions can what be altered. Now, the advantages is that the ecosystem is what more advantageous. It's more advantageous because there's no room for the 51% attack. There's no room what for the 51% attack. Now, the 51% attack is simply whereby there is before anything can happen in the blockchain, there must be what a consensus. Now, should in case everybody does not agree, but now and you are like having a 50-50 case, 50% doesn't want something to happen, 50% wants something to happen. Now, should in case 1% just move from either side, now we now have to call what the 51% direction, meaning that a certain person has power in this blockchain over the other person. Now, another advantage of this is that transactions are cheap, as only a few nodes verify transaction. All nodes do not carry verification, hence less computation costs. Transaction what are cheap. The fourth one is the architecture. It is what highly customizable and it still maintain what integrity, security, and what and transparency. And the fourth advantage is operations. It can choose participants in the blockchain and decide which transaction can be made public. Now, the disadvantage are simply what efficiency. Not everybody will be allowed to implement a hybrid blockchain, and there's some maintenance issue. Another disadvantage is transparency. There's a possibility that someone can hide information from the user. If someone wants to access through a hybrid blockchain, it depends on what the organization, whether they give it to or not. So if I want, like, I want it, I want the transaction now, or I want something now, but I cannot access that thing easily if what I'm not giving such. So simply to say that in a hybrid blockchain, the information is not easily accessible except you are what giving a blockchain. Now, and the last thing is that due to this closed ecosystem, this blockchain lacks the incentive for network participation, meaning there's no reward for the node people controlling the nodes. They are not being rewarded for anything. Now, a consortium blockchain. This is a creative approach that solves the needs of an organization. This blockchain validates transactions and also initiates or receives transactions. It's also known as what? As a federated blockchain. It is also known as federated blockchain. Now, it is an innovative method that solves what? An organizational needs. It is an effective method that solves organizational needs. Now, some part of this blockchain is what? Public. Some part of this blockchain what? Is public. And in this type, more than one organization can manage this blockchain. More than one organization can manage this blockchain. So if you have been noticing, each blockchain, each type of blockchain that I've said there is like improving the previous blockchain and before him. So in this case of what the consortium blockchain is solve the problem of the hybrid blockchain, taking the power from one organization towards numerous organizations. So now the advantage is simply speed. Number one, speed. A limited number of users can make verification fast, and the high speed make this more usable for organization. Number two, authority. Multiple organizations can take part and make it centralized at every level. Number three, privacy. The information of this check blocks is unknown to the public, but any member belonging to the blockchain can access it, and it's at the same time it's flexible. Now, the disadvantage is simply you have the problem of approval. Not every member approve the protocol, making it less flexible. Since this is because there are more than one organization involved, and there can be difference in the version of interest. This organization can have another vision. This organization can have a different view. So this would pose an approval problem. If this organization does not agree, the other one does not agree, the transaction cannot be approved because there are not been a consensus. There has never been a consensus. And vulnerability. Vulnerability is simply a few nodes are being are getting compromised. If a few nodes gets compromised or gets what we simply say as hacked, if a few of them was being hacked, there's a high chance of vulnerability on this blockchain. Now let's talk about so we basically talked about the four types of blockchain, which are what the private blockchain, the public blockchain, the hybrid blockchain, and this consortium blockchain. Now, let's also talk about what we call the version of the blockchain. We have the blockchain one, blockchain two, blockchain three. So this this is not like the type of blockchain, like this is what how the blockchain has evolved over time. Like I said before, each blockchain was solving a problem of a previous blockchain. So there's a peculiarity that comes with a new blockchain in order to solve the previous problem. So we have now in blockchain 1.0. Sorry. Blockchain 1.0 is what simply what cryptocurrency. Now, blockchain 1.0 was what actually introduced in 2005 by Finley. Blockchain 1.0 was introduced in 2005 by Finley. Now he implemented what the distributed ledger technology. So this particular DLT represents this first. Its first application was what the cryptocurrency. Now this particular ledger allows financial transaction based on blockchain technology. So this distributed ledger technology was executed with the help of what Bitcoin. This type of version is what permissionless, as anybody or any participant will perform valid transaction of Bitcoin, and is mainly used what in currency and payment. Now the aim of Bitcoin is to what introduce a transparent, publicly accessible, and completely decentralized immutable blockchain ledger, and a distributed system of transaction in the global financial market. Now, this blockchain 1.0 is developed with the idea and structure of Bitcoin. Blockchain 1 is developed over the idea and structure of Bitcoin. Now, let's talk about blockchain 2.0. Blockchain 2.0 is what? The smart contracts. So, I would like you guys to attach meaning to blockchain 1.0. Blockchain 1.0 is simply what? Bitcoin. The blockchain 1.0 is simply Bitcoin. Anything that has to do with Bitcoin is blockchain 1.0. Now, blockchain 2.0 come as a result of what we call scalability. We have what lack of scalability of network. So the smart contract was introduced to solve the problem of scalability. So this version of the blockchain was not limited to cryptocurrency, but it extended what to smart contracts. Smart contracts are what like small computer commands. Smart contracts are small computer command that leads to what the chain of blocks in the blockchain. Smart contracts are small computer commands that live in the what blockchain. They are what they are computer programs that are what executed automatically. Meaning, if you code a smart contract, it doesn't need a third party, or it doesn't need a person in order to do its work. So far as the condition which you set it is being met, it will what perform the very reason why it was what being developed. Now, blockchain 2.0, this made it able to perform or process high number of transactions on the public network. This every version of the blockchain was what trying to improve what the public blockchain. Every every version of the blockchain was working to improve the public blockchain. So, but Bitcoin 1.0 was it came was one of transparency. Bitcoin 1.0 came to solve the problem of at the same time it was not that scalable. So Bitcoin 2.0 came with Ethereum and it was solved the problem of scalability. And this was make the transaction on the blockchain towards move rapidly. Now, blockchain 3.0, which is where we are currently right. After version 1 2.0, new version was introduced, which includes the apps, which is known as what decentralized app. The app is what known as what decentralized app. It's a blockchain application that is what centralized. It does not need any central authority for it to what operate, and it is run on the blockchain. Now, the app makes use of what decentralized storage. So in Ethereum Nigeria, our storage provider is what is Filecoin IPFS. So we use Filecoin IPFS to write to run our our storage. So now the dApps are what decentralized, they are what transparent, they are secure, and the data of the dApps and of dApps are what accessible to everybody. There is no censorship, and there is what a flexible development. Now the app bring what so many benefits such as what zero downtime, privacy, privacy, data integrity, and truthless but yet secure communications. So the features of a blockchain. We try to talk about features of a blockchain, which includes security, decentralization, distribution, and immutability. So I will just talk about there are other things about faster settlement. They have sensors, they have unanimous, but the major feature of a blockchain is what security, decentralization, and immutability. I explained earlier on that immutability simply was the the ability of something not to be what changed over time or never to be changed once it has been what performed or happened. So immutability means that the blockchain is what a permanent and unaltered network. Blockchain technology functions through a what collection of nodes. So once any transaction has been what recorded on the blockchain, it cannot be modified, edited, tampered with, or deleted. It cannot be modified, edited, tampered with what, or even deleted. This makes the blockchain what immutable and tamper-proof ledger. So every node in the blockchain in this network has what a copy of the ledger. So to add a transaction, every node must check the validity So in my first explanation, I said in order for me to transfer any Bitcoin to anybody, once I broadcast such and such a transaction to the blockchain, the nodes we what we confirm, we verify if I have such value to what to give out. The nodes must verify if I have such value what to give out. So any validated record are irreversible, cannot be changed. So once I send you one Bitcoin now, I cannot go back and complain to the blockchain. I made a mistake. Oh, I sent one Bitcoin to this person. Please, can you reverse the money back to me? Can you reverse the transaction back to me? It's not possible. Once it has gone, it has left your wallet, it has left your wallet. So that's why we say if you are doing anything with sending out Bitcoin or sending out money, Ethereum to anybody, they will tell you confirm what that wallet address. So if by mistake now one of you is so kind, you want to send me Bitcoin now or Ethereum now, and I give you my wallet address, you tamper with any of the figure, you tamper with A, B, or even G, or even the numbers where you are supposed to put um, one, you put 10. That transaction now will no longer be for me, to be for what? That wallet address. And in most cases, some of those wallet address has been gone live, so it will just go. It has gone, it has lost in the blockchain. Now, distributed is simply what every participant having a record of the ledger. So since it's a public ledger, so everybody we have a copy of it. Decentralized is simply the absence of what centralization. That's the basic meaning. Now this is the illustration. This is the centralized authority. Everybody here has to what receive information from here. So whatever this thing gives, whatever this authority gives to them, is what these people will also have. But for the decentralized, everybody is what connected. So what this node has is what this other node has, is all these other nodes, even the extreme node. So if I'm operating a node here in Nigeria and any transaction happen, I will see it in Nigeria. Somebody in Russia can see it, somebody in the US can see it, somebody in Alaska can see it, even Australia can see it, because they have a copy of the ledger. That's why we say it is what decentralized. There is no a single party controlling it. The fourth one is what security. The public blockchain is what secure. This is because of the immutability, and it uses what encryption that adds what another layer of security to the entire process of the blockchain network. We also have a consensus, and we have a unanimous, and we have a transparency. So that's like the seven major feature of what the blockchain. So now, before we close now, let me talk about the history of the blockchain. The things that are not this that is not a blockchain. Number one, blockchain is not cryptocurrency. Every student should take notes. Things that is not blockchain. Number one, blockchain is not crypto. Please don't confuse Bitcoin to as blockchain. There's actually Bitcoin in blockchain and Bitcoin in crypto. Now, there's the basic difference of how to identify a network, the blockchain, and a token. Now, this is what a blockchain. Why this is a crypto? this is a blockchain. The first option is a what? It's a blockchain, while the second option is a Bitcoin. It's a what? A crypto. Why? This first this first one makes it a blockchain because the first letter is B. It's a very when I say crypto news, it's a very tricky question. I think I failed it. I will not lie to you guys. I failed it because I confused it. Now this first B is used to represent what? The blockchain. So whenever you see something, whenever you see somebody talking about Bitcoin, but it was indicating with this B, just know that it's talking about the blockchain. But when they're talking about this other one, they're talking about what? The crypto. So the next thing is that blockchain is not a programming language. Blockchain is not a cryptographic codification. Blockchain is not an AI. Oh. Blockchain is not an AI. Neither is blockchain a Python library or framework. I believe you all know what is a blockchain by now. And before we round up now, let's talk about the history of Bitcoin. I noticed that I never spoke about it.
Um,
1 minute.
Sorry, please do well to fill out the attendance form. And if you have any question for our facilitator, please drop it in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll be taking questions now. So let me check. If you have any asks, let me be listening. Okay, somebody asks, what is the difference between the capital B and small b? Now, the capital B is used to indicate what the blockchain network, like the blockchain, while the small b is for what? Is for the crypto. So does anybody have a question? Somebody asks, what is the name of the storage used for the apps? There are different storage actually, but we in Ethereum Nigeria, yeah, what we use is the 5 point IPFS. That's what we use. Those the one need to learn coding or develop. No. You don't need to. Please, you don't need to. uh, we also have a classroom chat, so you can also type a question. Yeah, we don't need to. You don't need to be what to learn how to code. These are like simple blockchain things that whenever you go out, you meet people, you understand this stuff. So I think I saw somebody raising up his hand. They want to round up now. Oluwaseun, you can mute yourself now. I have a question.
Yeah, good evening. Good
Evening, how
morning.
are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, sir, for the lectures. I really enjoyed it. I was able to make some jottings. Yeah, and also I want to also ask if you would be able to have access to the material you use for the lecture, so that we can go over it and do proper revision.
Okay, the
And
materials
and
will be
um,
dropped. Okay, continue.
and also I've been dropping a particular text over and over. I think the second time now. I was around for the onboarding yesterday evening and I filled the form, but then I did not get the email that contains the link to the Telegram group. The only email I got was the email to this evening's Zoom meeting. and it's quite concerning from my end because I've checked my spam, I've checked like everything on my email, and I did not get it. So I don't know if people that can probably help me sort that out can do that, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. Are you on Telegram, right?
Yes, I'm on Telegram, but I'm not on the
So on
Ethereum
Telegram,
Nigeria Telegrams group.
yeah. Are you on that group?
No, I'm not. I'm not. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay.
All right.
Send me a message on Telegram.
Okay. All right.
Send me a message at Gifty Coin. The coin is COUIN on Telegram. I will add you to the group neatly. Somebody, okay, I think this would be like, okay, somebody, there's some people raising up their hands. Better, you can speak now. Better, you have a question for me. Better, if you're not here, Tolu
Hello.
Walase. Okay, speak better.
Hello.
Yeah, you can hear you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Gifty. I really appreciate the lecture was quite educating and informative. Actually, I don't have any information or prior information about anything this blockchain or whatever. But you've been able to do justice to it. At least I can say something about blockchain. But what I want to ask is this, please, what are the uses of blockchain? Like, how is it used or what is it used for? I understand the aspect of using it in the cryptocurrency. That's the cryptocurrency transaction and Bitcoin mining and whatever. So how is it applied in other aspects of life of our day-to-day activity? That's my first question. And then my second question is this, like, why is it important that, like, what do Bitcoin, what do blockchain developers, what do they do?
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So let me start. Let me answer your very first question. Okay, let me answer your second question. Now, your second question is, what does the blockchain developer does? Now, the work of a blockchain developer is simply what there are these programmers that what their focus is what writing blockchain development code. They develop the blockchain, they develop new blockchain, they develop um they develop the apps, they also they develop new blockchain, they develop art, they write smart contracts. They also what help in the security of the blockchain. There are some there are they write codes. I don't know if you're understanding me. So a blockchain developer is simply a person that what writes either develop a new blockchain, or they develop the apps, or at the same time they write smart contracts. So you can meet a blockchain developer that their own particular niche is just writing smart contracts. You get, so they will just write smart contracts that will run on a particular blockchain. That's their own work. So for your very first question, there are numerous use cases for the blockchain. Now the blockchain is what, since the blockchain is was developed to replace the traditional financial system. It has evolved. It has evolved over time. Meaning, Satoshi Nakamoto's first motive of developing a blockchain was to like get us, let's say we want to replace this traditional transaction process, like, sorry, the banking sector. It was centralized, so Satoshi say, okay, no, let's do something that is what decentralized. Everybody can see, everybody can participate, everybody can what can know what is happening. So now we are no longer in that aspect of the blockchain now. We are now in the aspect of the blockchain whereby the blockchain can cut across many things. Number one, in the banking sector or in the finance. Number two, in the medical sector. Number three, in the transportation sector. Number four, in the demand and supply chain. Number five, in AI. Last week I was giving a talk about AI and blockchain. So blockchain was cut across these particular aspects. So don't just don't say this blockchain is only for crypto. No, crypto are just like the bedrock. Are just like things that are just like the oil that makes the blockchain move. But the application is very vast. It does not apply to a particular set of persons. It applies to what? The whole, this whole world. I hope you're understanding me. Now, okay, I want to round up this class. So sorry, last person, Tolu, please speak up.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the
Evening,
Can you
Tolu,
hear
how
me?
are you?
Can you hear me, sir?
You have to speak up like that. I can't hear you clearly.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for the class. I just have a little, I need a little clarification. So, concerning the class, the blockchain, by the time we started, like you actually made us to understand that the three main features of blockchain is in terms of it's like it is secured, it is decentralized, and last one. But the one I'm trying to bring out is in terms of it being decentralized, that we don't need any central authority for it. But along the line, I seem confused that there's now something called private blockchain. So I seem confused that I think the initial definition was that it's actually decentralized. So I seem confused in that aspect. Then also my next question is, what is the difference between hybrid blockchain, like the significant difference between the two? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Like I was explaining to you again first time, we have 4 types of blockchain. Now you are being confused about the types and the features and version. The types of the blockchain are private, public, hybrid, and consortium. But the major type of blockchain we currently use is the public blockchain. That's what everybody uses because it's what accessible to everybody. Now, if you can recall, my definition of a blockchain is a distributed ledger, meaning it is distributed. So the difference between a private blockchain and the major difference between a private blockchain and public blockchain is the decentralization authority. For the public blockchain, everybody have access to the ledger, while for the private, not everybody have access. I hope you understand. So now this other features I was talking about was applied, is being applicable, means majorly being applicable to the what? The public blockchain. The decentralization, scalability, all those other blockchain 1.0, blockchain 2.0, blockchain 3.0 was being applied to the public blockchain because they were trying to make it better. any new development, any new thing that was added to a blockchain was an attempt to make it better. So don't be confused. Don't confuse. It's simply decentralization is applicable to a public blockchain, while centralization is applied to a private blockchain. And at the same time, a blockchain is a distributed ledger. So thank you. And now the last question before I close. Please,
Yes.
those of you, let me drop my username now
Please,
on the sorry.
Mr.
I will drop my
Gibbs,
username now on the platform. So if you
Mr. Gibbs, please, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry to cut you, but thank you very much for such a wonderful lecture. Because of time, we cannot take any further. So, guys, if you have any question, of course, you can always go on the classroom and you can always reach out to, he's a tutor, you find him there, Gifted Cousin. You find him there, you can always drop your questions there. So thank you once again, Mr. Gibbs, for your time. We are really appreciate, and I'm sure a lot of people have learned a lot of things today. So also, you can ask your questions on the Telegram group, of course, to be answered there also. So any question you have, you can ask on the Telegram group. So thank you very much, Mr. Gates, for your wonderful, wonderful lecture on blockchain. I mean, personally, it was interesting for me. Blockchain is very useful, and blockchain is the next big thing, honestly, because every big giant company right now is adopting blockchain. There are many use cases for blockchain, right? It cuts across the health sector, the agriculture sector, education sector. Like, for instance, education. Let's say you graduate from university and your university decides to actually mint your certificate on the blockchain. It cannot be changed, it can always be verified, and it's eternal. Anytime, any day, anybody, anywhere can verify it. How about the health sector? For instance, let's talk about hospital records, right? So, like, you go to one hospital, you have to open a file, you go to another hospital, you open another file. So, but with blockchain, all of this data, you can have all of this data and it will just be verified, right? You can always add to it, but it can be verified. So there are a lot of it. For the agricultural sector, you can apply the blockchain in supply chain, like you're tracking goods from the source to the customer. It's a transparent process, so you always know the status of your goods. So blockchain is wide and it is very, very, it's the next big thing. Every protocol, every big giant protocol are actually using blockchain in one way or the other. So please, guys, do well to fill the Google the attendance form. And if you have any more questions, please do drop it in the group, either the Telegram group or in the Google Classroom. Then for those that are having email problems and not receiving emails, like I mentioned, please go to the Telegram group. You can search for either Mr. Gift here or myself, Etete. You can DM us, and if you can't find us, just drop the message on the group so we will find you instead. So thank you very much, guys, for your time. And that's the much we can take for today. Please check your emails, check your classroom. Make sure you submit your assignment. Of course, we're going to give some tax towards our bounties. So please check your emails and also the classroom. So thank you very much, guys, and have a lovely evening. Good night, everyone.